This is Roger Hebard and his beautiful wife Elizabeth. And tonight we're in the 13th chapter of Genesis. We've started over in the New Testament. And we read 2 in the Old and 2 in the New. And that gets us through the Old in a little over a year, and in the New less. So this is where Abraham and Lot separate. They have just become so rich. They came out of Egypt with a whole bunch of stuff. Now they're real rich and super big. So Abraham went up from Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the Negev. And Abram was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. And he journeyed on from the Negev as far as Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai. Ai is spelled Ai. I don't know how I should pronounce it, Ai. But anyway, between Bethel and Ai, I always think of Joshua. This is way on down the road here, but Joshua, when he had defeated Jericho, he went to Bethel and Ai. Ai was just a small place. He didn't take many people. And they got, because they had been unfaithful and taken some stuff that they weren't supposed to take from Jericho. Oh, well, we'll get to that. I don't want to go down a rabbit trail on that, but it always reminds me of that. Okay, so they went to Bethel and Ai, to the place where he had made an altar at the first. And God had made a covenant with him. And that covenant sticks with us because all nations of the earth will be blessed by Abraham. That's what it said in the covenant. And we are part of those because we accept what Abraham did. We have faith. And so we have that covenant. And God is faithful. All right. And there, Abram had called upon the name of the Lord. And Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents, so that the land could not support both of them, dwelling together. For their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together, and there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. At that time, the Canaanites and the Perizzites were dwelling in the land. Then Abraham said to Lot, "Let there be no strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are kinsmen. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself from me. If you take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if you take the right hand, then I will go to the left." And Lot lifted up his eyes and saw that the Jordan Valley was well watered, and everywhere like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's pause here for a second. Guess who's in the flesh and who's in the spirit? That's right. Lot is in the flesh. He's looking over there. He's seeing the riches of the land, and he's taking the choice away from his elder and choosing. Not smart, Lot. He pays for it later on. So Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley, and Lot journeyed east. Thus they separated from each other. Abram settled in the land of Canaan, while Lot settled among the cities of the valley and moved his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. Not smart, Lot, not smart. And we ourselves, I know, I must admit, used to I lived in the flesh. I was saved when I was 6, but I didn't have enough smarts to live in the Spirit. That's the first 11 verses of Romans 8. I have probably read that chapter I don't know how many times, but it wasn't until recent years that I decided to choose to live in the Spirit and not in the flesh. And it makes all the difference in the world, my friend. And I urge you, don't be as ignorant and slow to respond as I was. go over there and read those verses. You don't have to memorize them, but just memorize the intent of them and live in them. You say, well, I don't know the difference between the spirit and the flesh, Grandpa. Well, it's easy to understand. The spirits of the flesh, or the fruits of the flesh are the things of the flesh. Well, just like Lot was looking at the money and the things and all that. Oh boy, that's so appealing. Sexual immorality, that's of the flesh. You know what the things of the flesh are. Anger, murder, thievery. What does the devil do? He comes to steal, kill, steal, and destroy. Those are the things of the flesh. And believe me, you live in the flesh, that's who's coming after you. You live in the spirit, it's all those good things. Love, joy, peace, patience, forgiveness, brotherly kindness, things like that. Okay. So I told you again what I think. All right. So, okay. So old Lot, he journeyed east and he got real close, and he even settled real close to the tent, right closest Sodom. And Abraham settled in the land of Canaan. Okay, and God gave Canaan, the land of Canaan, to Abraham. Did I get my names mixed up? Lot settled over there by Sodom and Gomorrah. Abram settled in the land of Canaan. And God gave Canaan, that's Israel, to Abram. All right. Okay. Now the men of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram, after Lot had separated from him, lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for all the land that you see I will give to you and to your offspring. Amen. Forever. I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth. I'm part of his offspring. I'm not, I'm because of faith. I'm one of his descendants. Amen. So that if one can count the dust of the earth, your offspring also can be counted. Arise, walk through the length and the breadth of the land, for I will give it to you. So Abram moved his tent and came and moved and settled by the oaks of Mamre, which are at Hebron, and there he built an altar to the Lord. Man, he was a spiritual guy. I like that about Abraham, and we would be well to take note of that and be so ourselves. Huh? Yeah, why not? All right, now let's go to the Psalms. Man, do I like them.